Blaney takes the inside lane, green flag in the air. Let's go racing deep in the heart of Texas.
That turn 2 is so important to be able to have your car pointed and get to the bottom. As you get off into turn 3, you really, especially as the tire pressures are down, you don't want to be on that outside. If you can beat them to the bottom in turn 3, that's definitely where you want to be.
How much different as a driver are the two ends, Clint? We hear them letting off the gas, getting into 1, not so much into 3.
Drastically different, especially since the repave. Ever since the repave, I really have a difficult time trying to find my mark. Seems like the apex of the corner is so far around there, and it's so important to get that arc. Oh, look.
Trouble early. That's the 40 of Chad Fincham.
Doesn't look like any damage to Fincham's car.
Did a good job keeping it out of the wall.
Looped it. Well, that restart that these drivers have been waiting and anticipating and nervous about for so long, they get to line up and do it all over again.
One more time. Brandon Jones inside as we're green once again.
Pretty much even Steven there for the guys on the outside. They were able to hold their own pretty good through 1 and 2.
And that's hard to do here, Michael. It really is. It's slick up there, and especially right now early. Those Cup cars were single file and just running around the bottom. Not a lot of rubber burn in yet.
How much you love this view. I mean, that's what it's like to be behind the wheel of a race car, isn't it?
Yes, that is the real McCoy right there.
Michael Annett, Josh Bilicki, that's the 5 of Annett. The 45 is Bilicki, and the 1 of Elliott Sadler, who started in the rear, and some smoke on the left front of his teammate. Annett having some issues.
Just an extremely fast. Oh.
And there goes Jamie McMurray for a ride. Through the infield grass, second caution of the day, and we're not even 10 laps in. He was 7th when it got away from him.
I think maybe we talked about the cautions we might see early in the going this morning during qualifying, just knowing how tough these conditions are. And I love what Boyer said. The cars are stuck really good until they're not. And you can see Jamie just gets loose, gets a little bit of contact that outside wall. And Clint, all day yesterday long in practice, we saw that car nervous looking through the corners. He just doesn't have a good grip on the track.
It's just an extremely fast racetrack and very aero dependent. When he was behind him, it seemed like he got crossed up in the wake of that car in front of him, and away it went. Took the air off him just enough, and he lost it.
That's a nice effort, though, to save that thing. I mean, I don't have a state of comparison because I've never driven one of these race cars, but it sure looks impressive.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Restart going to happen as we complete lap 13. Ryan Blaney once again taking the outside lane.
Makes a nice break there. He's going to be able to dive to the bottom when they get to turn 1.
A lot of pushing going on that bottom line.
Man, they're 3 wide again on entry. That usually doesn't pay off, and you could see a little contact back there.
Might have been Matt Tipp that got shot out of line.
You can see the 19 of Jones just slipping under the 52 XD corner. That's Texas David Starr. And watch how just passing a guy like that, he can lose his momentum. It enabled Reddick to close in. This has been an okay recovery. Back up inside the top 20 is McMurray, but I'm thinking they probably want to do a little bit of work on that right rear now, Clint. They seem to have the left front figured out.
Yeah, a lot of times NASCAR will stop you and mandate that you fix that, especially if they think it's a safety issue. If that hood brace was broke or something like that, I look for them to take advantage of this caution and be working on that right rear, like you said.
Final lap, stage 1. Here comes Ryan Blaney. He's going to lead all 45 circuits, closing on the 0 of Garrett Smithley. Smithley will stay on the lead lap as Blaney takes the green and white checkered flag.
Like Truex slipped up out of the groove there, and you can see they're just bombarding him.
On board with Kevin Harvick. Just saw Justin Allgaier pull into the garage. He had fallen from the top 10 back to 17th prior to the end of stage 1, and these onboard cameras showing you exactly what it's like in traffic on a restart here.
It shows you these guys really have their hands full, especially that Jamie McMurray. That right rear quarter panel, I can promise you, is not helping him any right now.
Like Clint said earlier, get that left front fender below Bell like that right there.
Right there, yeah, absolutely. That's what it takes. You got to watch that car, hound him enough to keep the pressure on him and force him into a mistake a little bit. It looks like Jones's might be a little bit.
Caution number 6, second time we've seen it for the 40 of Chad Fincham. Last time, he was able to keep it off the wall. Not so fortunate this time. Destroyed.
Man, he
at number 40.
He ripped his whole back window out.
That's just too bad. You hate to see that. You know, that team's brought everything they had to this race. Just had his hands full.
Yeah, he said he was okay. He's getting out now.
A kid named Jones won twice last year for Joe Gibbs Racing. That was Eric Jones. Brandon Jones trying to win a stage today. 1 lap to see who gets stage number 2, and the 19 is able to get the lead.
Ryan Reed really slip up on the outside right there. Boy, they're really stacking up in the back.
Truex jumped to second. Brandon Jones, in his 3rd season out of Atlanta, Georgia, has never won a stage in the Xfinity Series. But that's going to change today. There's the green and white checkered flag. The 19 pulls it off. Truex to second. Ryan Sieg is 3rd. And then it's Ross Chastain, Ryan Reed, the top 5. The rest of the top 10, J.J. Yaley, Spencer Gallagher, Garrett Smithley, Michael Annett, and Jeremy Clements. Restarting 8th here. Hemrick, the leader on the inside lane. Great jump as we head toward halfway.
Like they were a little more courteous to one another that start for sure.
And how different, Clint, will that 22 car be? He spent the whole race up front. Now he's buried back in traffic. Is it a drastic difference the way it'll handle?
Oh, absolutely. Whoa, that's
one in the wall. That's Brandon Jones. Won stage 2, lost the track position after pitting.
Talk about chaos. That's just par for the course. Win your stage, and the next thing you know, you're wrecked. Unfortunate.
Saw Ryan Sieg sliding through the grass there as well in the 39 car. He's going to be able to get back on the road, but that looks like the day is done for Brandon Jones.
A lot of damage there.
It was so funny. I was watching Tift and Reddick. They were right there, almost a hit, and then in the background you saw him go around.
Kaz Gralla with some big damage. It looks like Jones just gets loose.
Just chasing it, really, really loose. It's amazing, that wall. Did you see that thing move? Every time I see a wreck anymore as a race car driver, sure appreciate whoever built and designed that thing.
It makes me want to hug them. I mean, I know how hard that concrete is and that technology. Look at the job Sieg does. He just,
yeah, he did.
He said, I got to lock her down and go the other way, and what a great move.
Restart with 95 to go. Hemrick Reddick front row.
It's a good example of teammates helping each other there. Big push on the inside, but it's not going to be big enough. Custer's hanging there. Or excuse me, Reddick.
Custer is up there though, Michael. Inside the top 5 in the double zero.
He made that turn work, and look at him trying to lay on the door of Tift. Misjudged it a bit, and Matt was able to scoot away.
And make no mistake, we got to be careful not to call this a little bit. Down there in 3 and 4, yes, they're right on their door, but you can see, in all fairness, that groove is very, very narrow. You get your right side tires above that black and out of that rubber, you're gone, just like we saw Brandon Jones just do. So that's a prime example of what can happen if you get out of that.
Harvick going the wrong way on this restart, Michael.
Yeah, it's all circumstantial. You talk about slipping and sliding, getting in the wrong groove, and we're seeing that happen with Harvick now. And on the other hand, I'm just impressed with Jamie McMurray. That trouble early, his struggle in practice yesterday, now he's there.
You know, the other thing with that 98, we heard him have a vibration. Who knows what's going on there? Maybe that's what he's fighting. Gosh, look at those guys. They're all over the place.
Getting down to it, Ryan Blaney back across the start-finish line. 14 laps to go, closing in on his 7th career victory in the Xfinity Series after starting on the pole earlier today.
Lapped all the way up to 11th position. He's got 11th position on down, a lap behind. Spencer Gallagher hanging on to a top 10 run. When he comes spinning down the front straightaway at 170 miles an hour, I would have never guessed that. So nice recovery by Spencer and that team. But this guy, we suspected it yesterday, Clint. You could just see in the lap times that this car was a little bit faster than the rest. He hasn't closed the deal yet, but certainly been dominant today.
I saw it that first stage when he was literally running. He was besting his qualifying laps that set him on the pole for this race. And race trim, your air pressures are lower. Everything else is trimmed out to be fast on lap 15, 20, not that first lap. And he was still running qualifying speeds. You knew it was going to be hard to handle for everybody. I'm just impressed. We're racing. We're on this racetrack. I woke up this morning. It's misting. We almost missed both practice sessions. It's freezing cold, and here we are. It seems like it's clearing up a little bit. We've got a lot of rubber on the racetrack, which I'm excited to see for tomorrow's race. It started out like gangbusters. I didn't think we was ever going to put a lap in. It's been just all over the place for everybody, every car, every team on this racetrack today.
That's a nice feeling, Adam. Not a lot out the front windshield and nothing in your rear view mirror as you head down into turn 1 for one last time.
Last win came at Dover in September.
And such a good guy, good family. I was teammates with his dad, Dave, and the neatest thing about him is this kid drives his butt off. He gets the most out of that race car each and every lap. And then when he gets out, he's not even wound up or anything. He's just pretty calm.
Ryan Blaney, victory lane at Texas.
First Keselowski, then Logano. Now Ryan Blaney takes the 22 to victory lane. 3 times you finished second. Now you finally scored the win. The only scary moment when it stepped out with you on the restart?
Yeah, that was definitely the scared moment of the whole race. But I can't say enough about these guys. This Fitzgerald Glider Kits Mustang was amazing all weekend, really. And we got behind a little bit, getting loose on that restart, and then you know, with those different strategies in the second stage there, we kind of had to come from behind a little bit. But car was great, and pit stops were great all day, and couldn't ask more of this team. It's finally nice to win one here in Texas.
You know, your celebration out on the front stretch, always old school, how you bring your car to victory lane, sort of a Polish victory lap like Alan Kulwicki, but the memories that you make giving the flag to a young fan, why is that so special to you? Because you can see what it means to them.
Yeah, you can. You know, whenever you can see them up close and personal, and see how excited everybody is to be here, that's just a bonus for us. That makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we put on a really good show, and I appreciate everyone for sticking around. It was cold today for those watching, and they sat up there the whole race, and it was unbelievable how many kids were in the stands and at the fence and really cheering and pumped up, and hopefully they had a great time. You know, my main thing is trying to make a memory that lasts a lifetime for them, and hopefully this is a good start to it. So thanks for everybody for coming out, and hopefully they are here for tomorrow's race as well.
Congratulations. Adam?
I think the kid had an A.J. Allmendinger hat on. Last time he gave the flag away, it was a Kyle Larson fan. They're going to be Ryan Blaney full-time from here on out. Here are the 4 drivers that are going to go for the cash next weekend at Bristol. Christopher Bell, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer, Ryan Preece. Dash for cash eligible at Thunder Valley, Regan.
Yeah, Christopher Bell will be Dash for Cash eligible when we get to Bristol in a couple weeks. Let's talk about today first, though. A second-place finish, your second-place finish this season. You had to work for it. You had a pit road penalty on lap 84 and came from the back to the front again.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you to Xfinity. It's a dream come true to be able to race for $100 grand, so that's really special. But our Hello Neighbor GameStop Camry was really fast, as you guys saw throughout the course of the race. We were able to move our way to the front, just you know, not quite good enough to run with the 22 yet. Felt like we were pretty equal at times, but overall he was just a little bit better than us. So a good solid day. After practice, I didn't think that we had a second place car. My crew chief Jason Ratcliffe and all of our entire team, they definitely make it better every single weekend once it comes time to race. So I'm thankful for the opportunity that I have at Joe Gibbs Racing, and thankful for all the partners we have as well.